All right, team. What is today? Tuesday, May 15th. And hopefully my power will stay on through the entirety of the call this time, because that was fun last week. Literally, I had my hand on the mouse to stop the recording, and my power went out. And then it became quite an adventure to locate the recording, but thankfully I did. So that's fine, Chelsea. We're glad that you're on. No, it's okay if you can't talk. But I think you can see me though, so that's good because that's going to be important today. So today, our topic really is like getting a little back to basics in terms of the bookings. Now, remember, it's important to remember that bookings is like an internal word. That's a word that we use with each other, but it's not like you go to your hostess or you say at a show, like, and when there's 3 bookings, because that sounds like a dental appointment or something just not nearly as fun as getting together for a styling. So it is important that you use the much friendlier words of personal appointment, private showings, a group styling, have a get-together, have a happy hour, have a girls' night, anything that sounds fun and social that will get the job done of allowing people allowing you to show the jewelry. So when we're never standing in front of a room and saying, when there are 3 bookings, she gets a ring, because again, not fun. And we can always reiterate, it's always fine to start small. And then if it builds bigger from that, that's fine. And what I mean by that is if you're saying to the girls when you are in front of them, 2 or 3 people around your kitchen table is fine. 3 to 5 girls on the couch with the jewelry on the coffee table is fine. When you're saying 2 to 3, 3 to 5, once you start explaining the host program to her, then she's probably going to realize, like, oh, well, if I get double credit at 10 and I only have 3 to 5, I still have to find 5 more people to order on my own. So maybe I'll make sure I have more like 8 or 9 there. That way, if one person orders from work, I'll still have my 10. But if you come out guns blazing with have 10 people, there are going to be some girls that find that intimidating, or they've never had a successful home show before, that they feel like there's no way they're getting 10 people, or that have never had a home show at all. I always consider it like a huge personal victory when someone turns to me and says, I've never had one of these parties before, so tell me what I need to do. Because I always feel like, oh my gosh, I conquered somebody who never had a home show before. So that means that I definitely did something right. So if you've ever had someone say that to you, give yourself a big pat on the back, because that means that you managed to inspire someone in a way that no previous home party lady was able to do. So, hi, Mel. Go in soft with, when you decide that you're going to have group styling, when you decide I can come in and style you and your friends, things like that. So, however, to get back to our internal training word of bookings, a booking, of course, means that you're adding an opportunity to show the jewelry to your calendar. If it's not written on your calendar, then it is not a booking. In that case, what it is a lead. So that is extremely important to know as early in your career as possible, because when people say I have 4 bookings and then there's no sales that go in, so then I'll say, what happened to the 4 bookings you had? Well, she still was picking a date. Okay, so then you never had 4 bookings. What you had was 4 leads that you needed to convert into a booking by getting a date on the calendar. And that's really the point of our Money Monday post each week, because what we're asking you to do is show us, either type up a list or show us the list that you wrote in the side of your calendar of the 4 shows that you booked that week. The bookings being written down and scheduled is what makes your business grow. Now, there's no mandatory, everyone has to do this for bookings every week. But because so many of you call me or your leader and say, I don't have any shows, or I want to grow my business. Well, and if that's the case, then you are someone who should be participating in Money Monday and finding over the course of each work week, Monday to Sunday, finding 4 people that are willing to let you show the jewelry to them and their friends, them and their neighbors, whatever it takes, because that's how you grow, finding those new opportunities to show the jewelry. So I do want to show you why it's important to get multiple bookings at every showing, because in direct sales, what we say here is, it's 1 booking to replace, 2 to grow, and 3 to explode. That's generally how, the growth of your shows will go. 1 to replace, 2 to grow, 3 to explode. And sometimes, if you're doing a show, we can get so hung up on, especially if you're new and you're like, I just want to get through the spiel, and then I just want to take the orders. I just want to get through the show and do my selling. But if you don't dedicate enough time to the process of booking, and that is, of course, sharing why they would want to book, knowing yourself why they would want to book, which means having a strong handle on what our hostess program is, and taking the time to have that conversation with each and every guest, then you're going to leave those shows without any bookings, and now you're not growing, and it's a fast way to either being out of business or to a point where now you have no shows and have to find all new ones from scratch. So I do want to actually show you why it's so important to get those multiple bookings at your show, and why it's also important to get bookings outside the show. And again, participate in that Money Monday. Because research does show that with any business, you need to have 5 streams of opportunity in order to get started. So for our business, what that means is that starting out, or if you want to restart, or if you want to jumpstart, where some of you are brand new that are watching this, and some of you have been around longer. So this can either start, restart, or jumpstart you, okay, wherever point you are in your business. You want 5 occasions to show the jewelry in 5 different directions. Now, even if you're brand new and that's a little more than you were thinking of starting with, I still recommend that you do it just in the beginning so that you get that good practice, and it gives you a nice jump start. It is much easier to scale your business down than to try to get it back to where you wanted it. So for maximum success, you want to go in 5 different directions. Now, this is why in the beginning of your business, you make the list in the Getting Started brochure. Oh, I want to have that handy. The Getting Started brochure has a whole big part. Tell me I don't have it still sitting right here. All right. Well, it has a whole big section of lists that you can make in order to decide who you're going to reach out to for shows. But it's essentially the same thing as a Frank's list, F-R-A-N-K, right? A Frank list is make a list of friends you have now, older friends from different stages of your life. R are your relatives from both sides of the family, in-laws, outlaws, ex-laws. A are associates. Those are people maybe that you know from work, or just that you know from just some sort of, maybe not a friend, but somebody that you do know from some assorted activity in life. Okay, then the N is your neighbors. That could be neighbors from where you live now, neighbors from the past, or somebody that you know because they're someone's neighbor, meaning you always go to your cousin's block party and you love her neighbor across the street and you always end up hanging out with her at the block party. That falls into neighbor. Okay, and then K are people that you know through your kids. So if you don't have kids, there's people you know from someone's kids. So have you ever escorted your niece or nephew to a birthday party and there's parents that you know from there? Just any reason that you know people through kids. There's your 5 different. And you want to get shows booked with each branch of these 5. And again, this is if you're brand new and this is going to be your start, whether it's your restart or whether it's a jump start. Because if you just book shows with 5 of your cousins, then what happens is the cousins go to Gina's, and then the cousins go to Mary's, and then they go to Fran's, and then they go to Sue's, and then they go to Tiffany's. And the whole business just kind of implodes because you're getting the same people over and over again. By the time the last cousin comes in, well, then they've all been, she's got the worst attendance. So not only is it important that we start with the 5 branches of different businesses, but that we teach every hostess to do the same. Because if you had 5 cousins book and they definitely did a Frank's list and they had 5 different groups sitting there in front of you, then it might not be so bad. Because now you're meeting Gina's in-laws and her neighbors and her work friends. And then you're meeting Susan's in-laws and her neighbors. So it is super important that this is a skill we don't just apply to our own bookings, but that we teach every hostess to apply. Because if you have a hostess who's only inviting the girls from work, what happens then when something happens at work and they all have to stay late? Or if they just all had a really bad day at work because something bad happened, that show is going to be a disaster once you get there. The other problem, even if they have a lot of people there, if they're all from the same social circle, what happens next is that it's hard to get more than one booking when everyone knows each other. Because if they say, that's when you hear that phrase that we can't stand, which is, oh, all of my friends are already here. I know that's something that probably you've all heard. That wouldn't have happened if there were different groups of people there. So that's, again, something to apply to your own 5 Jumpstart or starter shows, as well as something to teach each of your hostesses. So, all right, so let me show you this visual. Okay, I'm going to move back here and use my props. I had to do a whole thing about seeing how this would allow you to see me. All right, can you see the table okay? Just somebody unmute yourself and tell me if you can see the table okay. Because I have to, when I have it on speaker view, I actually only see myself in a teeny tiny corner. Are you guys able to see this?
Almost all the way. If you scoot back just a little bit.
That better?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm like 100 miles from my computer right now. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm using goldfish here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you see the goldfish?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So this is now the show schedule of 2 different team members, right? This is somebody who's going to get 1 booking at every show, and this pile is somebody who's going to get 2 bookings at every show. So they each have 5 shows just as we recommended. So now, right off the bat, we have to anticipate for that sometimes we get cancellations. Now, if this is not something you've experienced yet, that's great, but that will not last. You will have a cancellation at some point. And before you get all mad and want to, excommunicate somebody from your life because of canceling on you, I do want you to just think for a second, have you ever canceled anything ever? Because if you have, then you know that it is just a part of life. It's a part of schedules. It's a part of social functions. It's just a part of everything. So it's not anything personal. And yes, sometimes it is because the person just completely didn't do what they were supposed to do. Other times it's a legitimate reason. Either way, the show is not happening. So we're going to anticipate for that right away and take 1 show away from each.
Michelle?
Yes.
The light from the window is glaring on your table. Just so we can see the fish. Thank you.
Is that better? Can you see it better, Becky?
Yeah, somebody had commented. I
Okay.
can see it okay, but I think they weren't able to see.
Okay. I'm so far from the comments now that I can't read it anymore. I should have used pretzel goldfish. They're darker. You know what? Hold on a second. This will help. Now you can probably see them better, right?
Perfect.
Because they're against blue. Okay, so here's our 2 team members. This one does her 4 shows, and she gets 1 booking at each show, so she still has 4. This person does her 4 shows. She does gets 2 bookings at each show, or has reached out during the course of the week to get some more. So now those 4 shows are done. This person still has 4. This person now has 8. All right, however, cancellation. Okay, she now has 3 shows, and this person now has 7. All right, they now do this month's worth of shows. This person will do 3 shows this month. This person will now and rebook 3. This person now 2, 4, 6, 7. Now look how many shows this person has. She has 14 shows. This person has 3. Cancellation. This person is going to sustain 2 cancellations because with 14 shows, the chances of a cancellation are actually a little higher. And it could be a postponement. It's not necessarily a cancellation, but back in the bowl they go. Now, the next month, she has 2 shows. She has 12. She replaces her 2 shows. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, I had 12 in my hand. 10, 12. Look at this. She has 24 shows on the calendar, and this poor girl has 2. Cancellation. I'll even take 3 once you have 24 on the calendar. Cancellation. She's down to 1, and here's all the bookings that this girl has. Now we're up to September, and here we go. Cancellation. Even if we took away 3 cancellations here, she still has close to 40 shows on the calendar. And it's because she stayed on top of replacing the shows all the while as they were going along. Does that make sense? I hope that helps show you visually the very, very strong importance of actively booking new occasions to show the jewelry on a regular basis. That's the people who are going to be, seeing a good paycheck every week, who are going to be the top 50 in sales at a convention, who are going to see their name in stars of the week. And even without any of those are the people reaching their personal goals, because nobody joins Park Lane with the hopes of saying, I hope that I'm out of shows in a few months because I only book 1 from each one. Everybody comes here with either an income goal or some other achievement that they want to have as a result of starting this business. So that's why knowing your 5-star program is tremendous, because if you can't very clearly and quickly verbalize what the benefits are for having you come over, then those that would have booked because they want the free jewelry and the other discounted jewelry, they're not going to book, and you're only depending on the people that either liked you or just book anything because they like to socialize. And certainly fun is the #1 reason that people book, but really a cross of fun and desire for freebies is what will get you the most bookings. So if you have not really memorized and can easily talk about this yet, then that's something that you're going to want to start practicing. Because remember, first of all, how fantastic of a job they did with the thank you awards in this particular brochure. Not only are the photos nice and large and clear, but it opens up like an accordion so that at your show, you're able to say, and Mida today is going to get to pick any one of these for $19, and so are you when you decide to have me come over and style your friends. So you will have saved at least $100 or so before we even use any of your free credit. That's how I always say it. You'll be saving about $100 before we even use up any of your free credit, because that already now is setting them off to, oh, there's free credit also. So that is why I do, in my little show clipboards, I do have one of these on every single clipboard. Some people will go through this and browse it before I even get to the part of the show where I talk about what's in here, which is just fine. I like for them to look through this before I get there. But either way, at the end, they are definitely going to be opening this up. And this spread of $19 thank you awards really is a very impressive and exciting look at what they get before they even use any credit. Okay, so then we get to their free credit. So there's no pressure for people to spend a lot of money at our shows because it's $20 per order. So whether somebody from work places an order for $18 Encore earrings and they're happy with that, or somebody wants to place a $300 order, all of those orders are yielding you your free shopping spree. So with 10 orders, you get double free credit. There are so many companies that only have double credit in certain months of the year, and they will only have their show during those months. So there are a lot of times they do it in like January, and then they do it again maybe in one of the summer months because it's perceived as slower. And that's just not true for us because A, people wear jewelry all year round. In fact, we work in an industry, people actually tend to wear more jewelry in the summer. Something about being tan and having more skin showing, you know, that's where they pull out their colorful statement necklaces, when they pull out their maxi dresses and their strapless and all of this. So we have double free credit all the time. Savvy home party ladies will sometimes say like, so when do you have your double free credit? Oh, we have that every month. So 10 orders is double free credit. So when we say to them, have 3 to 5 girls together, let's say they have 6, I'll even give the example. So if you have 6 girls come to the show, 2 friends order from work beforehand, and then your mother-in-law and sister-in-law who live long distance order after the fact, there's your 10. And now you're getting $400 in jewelry. So just as a reminder, the show minimum is $300. That's nothing, $300 net sales. Net is what the guests purchase for regular price and half price. It's also what the hostess purchases at half price. So that's part of the net sales as well. That's not something that you need to talk to your hostess about because pretty much all shows hit the 300. I only tell them that if they ask, but it's good for you to know just in case you do run into that. But yeah, so that is their free credit. And then the hostess is entitled to 4 half-price items. Now, sometimes your hostess has gotten so much in free at this point. She's used up all her credit, she used her thank you, and she's kind of set. I will very often encourage her before she decides she's done. I do encourage her, hey, do you have any gift-giving occasions coming up? Or do you even just want to use it on small items? It's not like you have to use a $100 necklace for one of these half-price items. Do you want to throw on a pair of Encore earrings for $9? Do you want to get another pair, do you want to get a little cute Cleo stud for $10? I hate to see these go to waste. Because even if you have your hostess take $20-ish items at half price, that's still another $40 or $50 net that's going on to your show. Times how many shows a month, that can be the difference between Rich Rewards Level 1 or not. Or it could be the difference between, you know, when there's trip points involved and all these different goals that you may be working on. 5 hostesses adding on another $50 in sales, guess what? That's $250 by the end of the month. Times 12 months, that's a lot of extra sales and income coming in your way. 12 months times 250, that's an extra $3,000 in sales. So before you decide to let 4 half-price items go unused, ask your hostess even if she wants smaller items. See who else wants to use them, because to let half-price items, which are net and therefore paid items, go unused is a shame. Your hostess gets to shop the exclusive hostess-only jewelry. So remember, that's that back section of the catalog. There are people who want things just because other people can't have it. So popular hostess only items I find to be the bauble necklace, which is the pearl and crystal long double necklace. That bracelet that looks like a purse, the clutch bracelet has been popular, the legacy ring. There's a bunch of the Manhattan ring. These are all pieces that people do enjoy. Now, something to know, and sometimes people make it pretty far in their business without knowing this. You may occasionally get a hostess that says, can I use my credit on one of these items? So say your hostess wants the baubles necklace, but she doesn't want to pay $86. She can, however, she has to do it at the retail price. So see how the baubles necklace is $86 as a hostess, and then the retail is $258. So if she wants to use her credit on it, it needs to be at the $258. So it's not that she can't, it's just that it is going to hog up a lot of her free. Some people don't care. I've had a hostess who just really wanted, one high-end hostess only thing. She didn't care that it took up most of her free, and she was super excited. I know Belinda's had a few hostesses that feel that way about the watches. They don't care, they love it, and they're excited. Then, of course, the star 5 is the extra shopping spree at their friend shows. So they go to the first one, they get $50 in jewelry for $5. The second one, same thing, $50 order for $5. Third show, they get to do a $100 order for $10. And then with 3 bookings booked, they also get a free 3 booking ring. So these are all the things that when we have a good handle on how to tantalize people with what they will receive, that help you get the shows dated onto your calendar. That is also why I always recommend, especially when you are new, that when you earn rich rewards or when you have any opportunity at all to add to your kit, always add something from a lower price point so that you can help people build their sale, and a thank you award. Every single time you redeem rich rewards or take some sort of jewelry credit, always add another thank you award to your kit, because the more times that you're able to say, oh, well, if you just knock this off your order today, we can make this $19 when you have your styling at your house, then people tend to eventually say yes when they realize there's so many pieces that they want that would have fallen into that category. Remember that the final thing that you can do that is part of the host program as well, it's just not a technical part of it, meaning it's not written in, but it makes you look like the hero, are the Fast 50s. Now remember, the Fast 50s, these are just, they're just really a prop. This is a way for us to offer our hostesses an extra $50 or $100 in jewelry. There's a $10 fee for each certificate. So if you want to offer her an extra $50, there's a $10 fee. So you can say, I can add $50 more jewelry to your order for $10 if, and then let her know what she has to do in order to get it. You can do 100 for 20, or you can just opt to pay the fee, whichever you prefer. So there are so many effective ways that you can use your Fast 50s. That means that one way that I find very visual and effective is to attach them onto gift bags that have the hostess packets in them. So that you have these displayed at your show, and you say, and for those of you that are picking a date for me to come style you anytime in May or June, grab a bag, and then I'll know that you're getting an extra $100 in shopping at your showing. And I'm going to note that in my book so that I'm able to treat you to an extra $100 piece of jewelry when I come do your showing. That way you can see if you brought 3 bags, then you know, oh, there's one left. What do I need to do or say to get that one last bag to go so that my hostess gets her free ring or whatever it is. You can keep these off the bag. You can put a little Post-it note on that has dates on it that you want booked. So let's say you're booked for Friday nights from now until Kingdom Come, but you're really trying to get weekday shows on the calendar. Then you put dates on them of the weekdays that you have open, and then you say, so ladies, any of you that are picking a weeknight, I have an extra special $100 in shopping for you so that you can enjoy, you know, selecting more jewelry at your show. You can, if you run into somebody and you're wearing your Sheen necklace, which is a $92 piece, and someone says, oh my gosh, that is gorgeous, I would love to get a piece like that. You could say, you are in luck. I can't believe this, but this necklace is actually, you know, you could say it's $20, or you could say it's free, depending on how you want to handle the fee. You can say, this necklace happens to be free to everybody who has a showing with me in June. I can't believe it. Do you want to go ahead and look at some dates? I would love for you to get this for free. Then you just don't tell her about the Fast 50s. And when you get to that part of her order, you add the certificates on, which you'll see on the computer, and then you put the Sheen in, and there you go. Now she believes that she got it for free, which she did, but really you use the Fast 50s to get it. So just lots of different creative ways. If you're just booking someone from outside, I have put Post-it notes on each one, letting her know what she has to do in order to redeem them on her party. So you can put a Post-it note that says, have 10 guests at the show when I get there, and redeem this when we close your party for an extra $50 in jewelry. And if you get there and there are 10 people, then she gets it. Or you can say, have 3 outside orders or online orders before your party waiting for me when I arrive, and you will receive an extra $50 in shopping. Now that's, of course, in addition to the fact that each order is getting her more freebie jewelry, but you can write that on one of them, and then on the other one, you could put a Post-it note that says, put me in touch with somebody who wants their own showing that's not coming to the party, and redeem this for another $50. So in other words, she calls you and says, hey, my sister can't come, but she wants to book a party. Can you get in touch with her? That's an extra $50, because you can ask everyone at the show that comes yourself, right, if they want to have a show. But you can't ask people that aren't there and you don't know and you don't have a phone number for. So this is putting your hostess on the payroll and helping her, incentivizing her to help you find another booking. So that is Bookings Back to Basics, Soup to Nuts. I'm going to stop the recording, but this would be time to ask a question if you do have one. And thanks so much to everybody who watched or came on live.